I watched The Secret of NIMH. I think they should have kept it a secret. This was upsetting. First of all, what the is NIMH? Nice, intelligent mouse helpers? No. No inhumane mouse handling? Definitely not. The National Institution of Mental Health? Ding ding ding. They are a sadistic corporation who focuses on neuroscience and improving cognitive function through experimental animal torture. This is a family movie. Here's what happens in the film. This rat with gnarly hands is magically writing the obituary for his friend Jonathan. Miss Brisby, Jonathan's widow, crawls inside a steaming old piece of farming equipment looking for Mr. Ages. Miss Brisby explains that her son Timmy is very sick. Mr. Ages brings her into his glittering meth lab and whips Timmy up a remedy. On the way home, Miss Brisby encounters a weird bird who's all tangled up in some string. And Dragon, the giant demon cat, sneaks up on them, causing Miss Brisby to drop the medicine in the river. Miss Brisby escapes up a tree, but Dragon chases her and they end up crashing into a waterfall where Miss Brisby almost drowns as she is caught in the undertow. Luckily, she escapes on one of those water wheel things. Miss Brisby, now safe from danger, begins to cry because she lost Timmy's medicine. But much to her surprise, the weird bird had picked it up and he returns it. And the bird explains that he really wants to fall in love, but no one likes him. Miss Brisby keeps saying goodbye to him and trying to get away from the weird bird, but he keeps pestering her, seeking romantic advice. Meanwhile, at the Brisby residence, Auntie Shrew comes by looking for Miss Brisby, but the kids tell her she's not there. And as she goes to leave, her scarf gets caught, and she takes like a really brutal fall down the stairs, and then the kids just laugh at her. Is she okay? Then when Miss Brisby gets home, Auntie Shrew explains that the frost is starting, and that means moving day is coming very soon. Miss Brisby prepares Timmy's medicine, and then she lovingly spoon-feeds her pneumonia-riddled child. This is so sad. Over at this farmhouse, this woman explains how someone from NIMH came by, and he was wondering if they noticed anything strange with the rats on the farm. Strange, like being super intelligent or something like that. That would be weird. Miss Brisby wakes up to find that the weather has gotten colder, and Auntie Shrew says that today is moving day. But Miss Brisby says they can't move yet because of Timmy's condition. The chill in the air could kill him. Auntie Shrew says that, well, they have to move because the tractor is going to come soon, and that will definitely kill him. So pick your poison, lady. Then the bone-chilling sound of the tractor starting up drives Auntie Shrew into a mad frenzy, and the animals all begin running for their lives. Knowing that Timmy would never survive the journey, Miss Brisby attempts to stop the tractor. She climbs aboard the death machine as it barrels towards the Brisby's home. Timmy is sleeping peacefully as the earth-shaking tractor crumbles the walls around him. Auntie Shrew helps Miss Brisby and rips out the fuel line, stopping the tractor. In shock from the whole ordeal, Miss Brisby experiences a shutdown and has to be retrieved by Auntie Shrew. Miss Brisby says she wishes Jonathan, her deceased husband, was here to help support her through this trying time. Meanwhile, the gnarly-handed rat from the beginning is magically spying on them. Knowing that the tractor will be back tomorrow to finish the job, Auntie Shrew says that she should go see the great owl. The weird bird agrees to give Miss Brisby a ride. They fly into this clearly haunted forest, and Miss Brisby enters the great owl's foreboding domain. There are a lot of red flags that Miss Brisby powers through, such as a pile of bones of what must surely be other mice. As she treks forward, an absolutely terrifying, slobbering spider sneaks up on her. The great owl kills the spider, and we can assume that he's been affected by whatever horrors are happening with NIMH because he has the same yellow glowing eyes and the severe warts on his extremities that the magic rat has. Miss Brisby, terrified by this cobweb-covered moth-eating bird of prey, musters the courage to ask for his help. The great owl is very no-nonsense and says, "Listen, okay, there's a freaking plow coming to crush your house, right? Here's what you gotta do. You literally just need to get out of the way of the plow. That's all I can do for you. I mean, what other advice could I possibly have?" But then when the great owl hears her name, he's like, "Miss Brisby? Oh, you're Jonathan's wife. Let me give you some useful advice then." He says, "Go see the rats and ask for Nicodemus, aka the gnarly hands magic rat. The rats will be able to move her whole house." The next morning, Miss Brisby enters the lair of the rats. She asks to see Nicodemus, but This rat tries to kill her with his lightning spear. Dodging the blows, she ends up running into Mr. Ages and explains her situation. He brings her to see Nicodemus, and on their way they meet Justin, a good dude. They all ride a lantern elevator through the water and into the meeting of the rats. The rats are hesitant to help her because they have their own problems to deal with, but this evil rat sees it as a great opportunity to do some evil shit. So he convinces the rats, and they all agree to help her. Miss Brisby finally gets to see Nicodemus, and Nicodemus is like, hey, go read from my journal. And she does, and it's the story of how her husband died. He was attempting to drug the cat, and it killed him. Next, Nicodemus is like, now go over here and look at this other magic thing I have. It'll explain some more terrible stuff for you. And there she learns the titular secret of NIMH. So at first, they were all normal rats, but they were captured and brought to NIMH. There were many animals there, and they were all put through the most unspeakable tortures to satisfy some scientific curiosity. Look how sad these monkeys are. That sucks. Those monkeys are too sad. So 20 rats and 11 mice were given experimental injections. Then there is a psychedelic sequence that acts as a metaphor for the rodent's expanding consciousness. One night, Nicodemus looked upon the words under the cage door, and he understood them. Then they all escaped through the ventilation system. However, the mice, being too light, were sucked down the air shaft to their death. 2 of the 11 mice survived, Jonathan and Mr. Ages. Then Nicodemus gives Miss Brisby a magic amulet that Jonathan wanted her to have. On the back of the amulet, it says, you can unlock any door if you only have the key. Yeah, no shit. That's how doors work. Then they get ready to go move Miss Brisby's house. Meanwhile, the evil rat is like, this whole house moving thing, it's going to be a perfect opportunity to kill Nicodemus. As Miss Brisby, Justin, and Nicodemus take a haunted boat ride, Justin explains that usually when they do some crazy mission like this, like moving a house or something, they usually drug the farmer's cat. But somebody has to sneak into the farmer's kitchen and slip it into his food. Miss Brisby volunteers for the dangerous task. So under the cover of night, Miss Brisby shakes uncontrollably as the anxiety of this mission courses through her veins. In the mad dash to and fro from the cat's food dish, she is successful, but she is captured by a young boy who plans to keep her as a pet. She overhears the farmer on a phone call with NIMH. NIMH knows the rats are in the rose bush outside, and they're going to come by tomorrow and bulldoze it, killing all the rats. So Miss Brisby needs to escape and warn them. Meanwhile, the mission to move the Brisby's home is underway. The rats use an ingenious rope system to lift the home. Once the house is directly above Nicodemus, the evil rat cuts the line, dropping the house and killing Nicodemus. Miss Brisby escapes and tells the rats about NIMH's plan to crush their home. Evil rat doesn't believe her and backhands her and then tries to murder her. He sees her amulet and he really wants it. Then Justin has a sword fight with him, ending with the evil rat's buddy using his final ounce of strength to literally stab him in the back. Hell yeah. Miss Brisby talks to her children through the wall, choking back tears and lying to them, saying that the move is almost done. The house begins to sink into the mud. All the rats work frantically to save the doomed children, but the lines keep breaking. The final line snaps, Miss Brisby's amulet falls off, and the house descends into the mud as Justin holds back the grieving mother from joining her sunken children. Then, out of the mud, the amulet magically returns to her. And when she touches it, it turns into flames and imbues her with ultimate power. She uses her godlike abilities to raise the home from the muddy grave. Then she lays down and takes a well-earned nap. The next day, the house is moved to a new safe location, and Timmy is starting to feel better. Awesome. Then the weird bird falls in love with another clumsy bird, and the movie is over. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like it and subscribe. You'd be supporting me and what I'm doing on the channel, so that would be pretty cool of you. Bye-bye.